As a solicitor, I often come across cases involving children in various ways. It can be cases involving immigration or family law. And if it's a case that is involving children in a family law case, it is a case to do with maybe a separation or a divorce. Who is going to stay with the children and who's going to have access of the children when the other parent is staying with them? Oftentimes and unnecessarily, the parents might have arguments. And when they are arguing, they will be arguing as to who's going to stay with the child, who's going to have the financial responsibility, how much is each party going to contribute. This situation is even exacerbated if it's a case that is involving immigrants because of the difficulty that immigrants face in the United Kingdom or in England. So there are various ways in which you can deal with issues involving children where the parents have separated or divorced. Where possible, it is advisable that the parties can come to an agreement, an informal agreement which they can put up to uphold both of them. So in the agreement, the parties will agree who will be staying with the children, for how long, when, and what are the contributions financially, who takes the children with them on holidays or on their birthdays and so forth. This arrangement, although it is fluid, it has got its own advantages and disadvantages. The main advantage being that there's not any legal costs that are involved. But however, the major disadvantage is that any of the parties might not uphold their end of the bargain and there's no enforced because it is just a simple arrangement that has been entered into by the parties. The parties might also seek mediation through a solicitor, or a solicitor can negotiate between the parties. It's advisable for each one of them to have their own lawyer or solicitor who can be able to discuss the issue of the children with them. So the solicitor will draft up an agreement which will be revised by both parties, and then they will agree as to what are the terms of the agreement. Obviously, if a solicitor is involved, most of the time there will be costs involved, unless if there is legal aid or public funding that is available that is being used. You can also use mediation, MIMN. And with mediation, the mediator will go in between the parties and try to help the parties to come to an agreement. And it is advisable, especially if you are going to go to court, to try to seek mediation so that you can save the time, save your own time, and also save costs. Mediation is not always suitable for all cases, and it requires genuine engagement. If you are not so serious about engagement, you'd rather go to court than rather waste everyone's time because you are not serious about it. In the court, child arrangements orders can be made by the court or by the judges or the presiding officers. The family court can make enforceable orders, often with kafkas involved. But the process can be slower, more expensive, and stressful. Again, even when it goes to court, most likely you'll go to court with your lawyers or representatives. It can be solicitors or a Mackenzie friend or anyone that is going to court with you. But again, everyone needs to be able to engage with the court and the kafkas, because otherwise there will not be an agreement that can be reached. And if there's no agreement, as you would know, the court would exercise its powers under the circumstances to see who is able to then stay with the child, who will get the visitation or the access rights and points of time within the year. So the court, I think, is the last resort that we need to use. Firstly, try to get an arrangement between yourselves. And if you cannot do an arrangement, try to use mediation, solicitor agreements. And then ultimately, if that doesn't work, you have to go to the courts. There might also be those costs that will be involved and are doing these cases involving children, apart from the psychological, emotional stress that the children might be suffering, there's also the financial. You will be using a lot of, in some of the cases can go as far as 10,000, 15,000, depending on how complex the case is. It is important to try to cooperate with each other despite the differences that exist between the parents. Remember, the children normally need both parents, so it is in the best interest that both parties have to engage with the authorities or between themselves so that they can be able to get a resolution when it comes to their children. As for the immigrants, as I have said, there could be other additional issues to consider. What is the immigration status of the parents? What is the immigration status of the children? How is the immigration status going to be affected? Can the other part who was a dependent still remain in the UK, especially if they were dependent on the parent that is now going to stay with the children? Can they make their own route of visa based on the child? That again depends on the circumstances of the case. It's important to seek for legal advice. If you require legal advice, child law solicitors can be able to help you. So, in practical terms, things that we have noticed is that sometimes when there's no arrangements, orders for the children, one parent might take the children out of the country without telling the other because there's nothing that is enforceable. One parent might want the other parent to have access at all, or one parent might be claiming too much money that might be given under a maintenance order or a maintenance cost issue, because they are using the child as a bargaining issue, as a bargaining chip, and they want the other parent to just comply, especially if they are the visa holder, if the case involves immigrants. So instead of using children as chips, I think we need to make sure that we take care of the children's emotional concerns, and we give them access to both the parents. The children, as they grow older, can also have an input on how they are going to stay. The court, as a guardian of the children as well, can also listen to what the children want. They want to stay with the mother, the father, or the other parent. If it's in a same sex relationship, it could be whoever parent is going to stay with the children that the court might have to consider. There's a lot of factors that can be taken, but I have said that when it comes to court, it might be very complex. It might involve Kafka's mediation, even experts sometimes might be involved. And then there could be other complications where the other parent has got issues to do with abuse of substances, if they're on drugs or alcoholic, then that also causes problems. And things with criminal history, if someone has got a propensity to commit crimes, that might also have issues to do with them having capacity or even being considered to steal the children or access. So the court tries to be fair in all the circumstances. What are the orders? What are the things that the court does? Sometimes it might say each party will have equal times with the children, contribute equally. Sometimes it might say someone might have more time and other someone has got access to the children. Sometimes it might say access is not proper at the time. Maybe have virtual access. Start with text, start with WhatsApp messages or WhatsApp video calls. Gradually develop a relationship with the child and then get into the next steps of knowing the child, going to contact centers where you can contact the children if there's any concerns, say for the safeguarding of the children and so forth. So again, the court will look at the best interests of the children. Are they safe? Is there any safeguarding issue? Is there any abuse of substances? Is there any criminal history involved? Is there financial matters, domestic violence involved, etc.? If there's domestic violence involved, then that person might not have access to the children at all, because the court will be concerned about the safety of the children. If you want any advice on child arrangements orders, Child law solicitors will be able to help you. Follow us on YouTube and on Facebook. And we've got a lot of videos that have got a lot of information on the various areas of law that we do. We do immigration, employment, business, family, dispute resolution, um, and we are also commissioners of court. So you can contact us on the details that are appearing on the screen. My name is Andrew Amayaro. Until next time again, thank you.